This happened to me and my cousin 2 summers ago, and I still haven't told anyone in my family because I know they'll think we were just tired or paranoid or making it up. But I swear to you, every detail is exactly as I remember it. We were on a cross-country road trip, me, 20M at the time, and my cousin Dylan, 19M. We were driving from California to Georgia to see my aunt for the 4th of July, and we figured we'd make a week of it. Drive during the day, sleep in the car or cheap motels at night, hit some landmarks along the way. Real American summer kind of thing. Things went fine until we hit this stretch of highway in New Mexico, Route 285, somewhere between Roswell and Carlsbad. It was getting late, like around 11:30 p.m., and the desert sky was pitch black. No stars, no moonlight, just us and the road. We hadn't seen another car for at least half an hour, and I was nodding off in the passenger seat while Dylan drove. Then he said something that pulled me out of my haze. "Dude, did you see that guy on the overpass?" I blinked and sat up. "What?" "There was a guy just standing on the side of the overpass back there. Just standing there in the dark. No lights, no car. Nothing." I turned and looked behind us, but we were already well past it. "You sure?" He nodded, eyes still on the road. Tall. Wearing some kind of coat. Just standing there like he was waiting for something. I didn't think much of it. Probably a hitchhiker, or some unlucky soul whose car broke down. But something about Dylan's voice made me uneasy. He wasn't the type to get rattled. Still, I cracked a Red Bull and tried to stay awake. About 10 minutes later, we crested a hill and saw another overpass in the distance. This one wasn't as tall, but as we got closer, I noticed something that made the hairs on my arms stand up. There was a figure standing at the edge again. Same position. Same silhouette. Long coat, hands at his sides, completely still. We drove under the overpass, and I craned my neck to look up as we passed beneath him. I swear on everything, the guy's head turned to follow us. Not his body, just his head. I turned to Dylan. "That's the same guy." "I know," he said quietly. "How did he?" "No idea." We drove in silence for a while. The air in the car felt heavy, like the kind of pressure you get before a thunderstorm. I kept glancing in the side mirror, half expecting to see headlights or someone running after us. Nothing. Just empty road and desert stretching forever in both directions. About 15 minutes later, Dylan slammed on the brakes. There was a third overpass. And the guy was there again. This time, he was standing in the middle of the overpass, directly above the road. No railing between us and him. Just him standing dead center, staring straight down at our car as we slowed beneath him. I didn't want to look. I really didn't. But I couldn't help it. I glanced up and locked eyes with him. They were wrong. His eyes were too big. Too round. Like they didn't fit his face. And they were completely black, no whites, no iris. Just darkness. Like 2 holes punched through his skull. He smiled. It was the kind of smile that doesn't belong on a human face. Too wide. Too full of teeth. We hit the gas and sped off. "Pull over," I told Dylan. "Now." He didn't argue. We found a rest stop about 5 miles down and pulled into a space under a flickering streetlight. There was no one else there. Just one bathroom building, a couple vending machines, and the dead quiet of the desert. We got out of the car, walked a few feet away, and both just stood there, breathing. Trying to make sense of what we'd seen. Then we heard footsteps on the gravel. Slow. Deliberate. Coming from behind the bathroom building. We froze. The steps stopped. "Get in the car," I whispered. We turned and sprinted. Dylan fumbled the keys, dropped them, cursed, picked them up, and we dove inside. I locked the doors just as a figure stepped out from behind the bathroom. It was him. Same coat. Same black eyes. Same smile. Except he wasn't on an overpass anymore. He was 20 feet from us, walking slowly across the lot. Dylan started the car. The engine sputtered. Wouldn't turn over. The guy got closer. 15 feet. Dylan tried again. Nothing. 10 feet. I started screaming at him. Come on, come on. 5 feet. The man tilted his head like a dog hearing something strange. His smile widened. The car roared to life. Dylan threw it in reverse, nearly hit the vending machines, then peeled out of the lot and back onto the highway. We drove until sunrise. Didn't talk. Didn't stop. We didn't see the man again. I've gone back and looked at satellite maps of that highway. There are only 2 overpasses between Roswell and Carlsbad. No way we passed 3. And the rest stop? It doesn't exist. At least not on any map I can find. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with that same heavy feeling in my chest. Like I'm back in that car. Like he's standing just beyond the edge of the dark. Watching. This happened a year ago when I was driving through the Appalachians on my way from Pittsburgh to Knoxville. It was supposed to be a 7-hour trip. I've done it before. But this time, I took an exit I don't remember ever seeing before. Exit 94. No town name. Just a green sign that said, Scenic Route, 18 miles. The GPS glitched right as I passed it, and I figured, screw it, I'd take the scenic way and enjoy the drive. That was my first mistake. As soon as I turned off the highway, the road narrowed. 2 lanes became 1. Asphalt gave way to cracked concrete. And the trees got thick fast, like too thick for anything but logging roads. About 5 minutes in, my music cut out. Just died. Screen froze on my dash. The only thing working was the clock, and it was stuck on 3:17 p.m. No signal. No GPS. I kept going, thinking it would reconnect once I got through whatever dead zone I was in. Then I started seeing signs. Not road signs. Hand-painted ones nailed to trees. No dogs after dark. Do not drink from the stream. They remember your smell. And then, go back before the wood's close. I laughed at first, thought it was some weird Appalachian folklore tourism thing. Maybe a gimmick for campers. Until I realized there were no houses. No trail markers. No signs of life at all. Just these strange, cryptic warnings. Then, the road just ended. Not like it turned into gravel or faded out, no. It just stopped at a tree line, like someone had poured it out of a bucket and then ran out halfway. So I did what any sane person would do, I tried to turn around. That's when I saw the woman. She was standing behind my car. Pale skin, hair hanging in ropes down her shoulders, barefoot, wearing a tattered flannel shirt and what looked like old-fashioned bloomers. Like Civil War era. I couldn't see her face because her head was tilted up toward the canopy. Like she was listening for something. I rolled down my window a crack. "You okay?" I asked. Her head snapped forward so fast I almost peed myself. Like a dog hearing a whistle. And her eyes. They were sewn shut. With actual black thread. But she smiled at me and said, in a voice that sounded like gravel being ground under tires, "Don't drink from the stream." Then she vanished. Not walked away. Not ran. One blink and gone. I threw the car into reverse and tore back down the road. But something was wrong. The drive wasn't the same. I swear, the turns weren't where I remembered them. The signs had changed, too. I passed one that said, "You stayed too long." Another said, "They've seen your plates." I didn't stop. Not even when I saw the deer. Or, what I thought was a deer. It was in the middle of the road, standing too still. Its legs were too long, like stretched out. Its eyes weren't glowing like deer eyes in headlights, they were just black. Then it stood up. On two legs. And its mouth opened sideways. I swerved into the ditch to get around it and kept going. Eventually, the road got wider again, and I found myself back on the highway. I nearly cried when I saw the first gas station. I pulled in and stumbled inside like I'd just escaped a war zone. Told the guy behind the counter what happened. He didn't laugh. He just said, "You took exit 94?" I nodded. He looked at me for a long time and said, "That exit's been closed since 1978. Washed out in a flood. Killed a whole school bus of kids. They never found most of the bodies." I asked him how that was possible. I'd just taken it. I even had a dashcam. He pointed at my car. The dashcam was gone. Just wires hanging from the windshield. I don't know where I went. Or what was there. But I never found that exit again. Not on Google Maps. Not in real life. Just a blank stretch of highway where something used to be. Me, my girlfriend Haley, and our buddy Marcus were doing a summer road trip last August. 3 of us in an old Jeep, driving down through the Rockies, camping as we went. It was a great trip, until that night. We were somewhere in Colorado, maybe near Montrose. It was late, and we were trying to make it to a cheap campground we'd found online. Middle of nowhere. Mountains on one side, plains on the other. That's when we saw him. A man standing on the shoulder of the road, thumb out. Backpack on the ground. Hoodie pulled low over his face. Marcus slowed down. Haley said, "Don't stop." That's how horror movies start. Marcus, being Marcus, said, "Come on, he looks harmless." The guy got in the back seat behind me. Smelled like wet leaves and metal. "Thanks," he said. Voice flat. No accent. Just heading down toward Dolores. None of us had said where we were going yet. I looked at him in the mirror. Couldn't see his face, just shadows and a pale chin. Then he said, "Marcus. You mind if I crack a window?" Marcus's hand froze on the steering wheel. "Did you tell him my name?" he asked Haley. She shook her head, confused. I turned around. "Hey, how'd you know his name?" The hitchhiker smiled. "Same way I know you're Anthony," he said, nodding at me. "And that Haley's allergic to bee stings." That last part hit Haley hard. She sat up straight. "Pull over," she whispered. "Where did you?" I started, but the guy cut me off. "You shouldn't camp at Wild Creek. They come down from the mountain after 2 a.m. And you, Anthony, you talk in your sleep." Marcus slammed the brakes. "Get out," he snapped. The man didn't move. Then he said, "You left the tent unzipped last night. That's why the raccoons got in." We hadn't told anyone that. No one. That was from the night before. Middle of nowhere. No cell service. No posts. Nothing. I pulled out my phone. No signal. Tried to take a photo of him. Camera app froze. Then crashed. "Why are you doing this?" Haley asked. The man finally looked up. His face was off. Like a wax figure that had started to melt. Not grotesque, just wrong. Unsettlingly symmetrical. Eyes too far apart. "You picked me up," he said. "You let me in." Then he opened the back door while we were still moving, stepped out, and vanished. Didn't fall. Didn't roll. Just stepped into the night and was gone. We drove until sunrise. Didn't say a word. When we got to a motel, we checked all our phones. Photos from the trip, gone. Even backups. But there was one new photo in Marcus's gallery. A picture of the three of us. Sleeping in the tent. Taken from outside. I was driving home from a weekend in Maine. Solo trip. Cabin rental, fishing, reading, just trying to get my mind straight. The kind of thing you do when your life feels like it's fraying at the edges. It was a Sunday night. I was on this lonely back road somewhere near the NH border, around 11 p.m. No street lights. Barely any cell service. I hadn't passed another car in 20 minutes. Just me, the trees, and the white noise of tires on cracked pavement. That's when I saw the woman. She was lying in a ditch off the shoulder, just past a tight bend in the road. At first I thought she was trash, maybe a pile of clothes or bags, but something about the shape made me slow down. And then she moved. She lifted one arm, slow, stiff, and waved at me. Not a desperate, help me, kind of wave. Just a calm, casual wave. Like she was saying hi. I pulled over. Left the engine running. Grabbed my flashlight and walked toward the ditch, heart pounding. I was scared she was hurt, maybe drunk or hit by a car. But as I got closer, something was wrong. Her clothes were soaked like she'd been lying in the wet grass all day. Her skin was pale, blue pale. Her eyes were open and unfocused. Dead eyes. And her neck was broken. Twisted clean around. Her chin was almost resting on her spine. But her hand was still waving. Still moving. Even when I stopped next to her, it just kept going. Up. Down. Up. Down. Like she didn't even know I was there. I whispered, "Miss? Are you okay?" The waving stopped. Her eyes rolled toward me. And then, in the most monotone voice I've ever heard, she said, "You were supposed to stop at the last turn." I backed away fast. Got in the car. Locked the doors. Sped off. But the road didn't feel right after that. The turns were tighter. The trees closer. I swear I passed the same dead possum twice. Exact same position. Same blood pattern. Then I saw her again. Same ditch. Same wave. Same broken neck. I didn't stop this time. I just stared straight ahead and drove faster. She kept showing up. For more times. Each time, closer to the road. Closer to my lane. Same wave. Same calm stare. Then the fifth time, she wasn't lying down anymore. She was standing in the middle of the road. Neck still twisted. Head upside down. Waving. I swerved off the road, nearly hit a tree, and floored it down a logging path, just trying to get away. I drove until the trees cleared and I saw lights, an actual diner with a neon sign. I pulled in, shaking. The waitress looked at me like I was a ghost. "You okay, hon?" I just nodded and asked for coffee. When I looked out the window, I swear on everything, the reflection in the glass showed her sitting in my back seat, waving. But when I turned around, it was empty. I never found that stretch of road again. But every now and then, when I take a back road too late at night, I see someone waving from a ditch. A few years ago, I took a trip with my buddy Eli to visit his cousin up in rural Montana. We were driving from Spokane and took this mountain route that Google said would shave off 40 minutes. Big mistake. It was early evening, golden hour, and the mountain road was gorgeous but completely isolated. No cell service. No buildings. Just endless curves and pine trees. That's when we saw the car. It was an old, beat-up Ford Crown Vic, faded black paint, no plates, tail lights barely working. It was maybe a quarter mile ahead of us, going just under the speed limit. No turns, no pull-offs. It looked wrong. Not just old, out of place. I joked that it looked like an undercover cop car that had died and come back. We followed it for a while, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, until it took a sudden left down a gravel trail we hadn't even noticed. No sign, no marker, just a tight turn into deep woods. The weird part? It didn't slow down. Just glided into the trees like it already knew the road by heart. I told Eli not to follow. He turned anyway. He said, "Dude, I think I saw someone in the back window. Might need help." The trail was rough. Dirt, rocks, tree roots. Our headlights barely lit more than a few feet ahead. But we kept seeing flashes of the Crown Vic's brake lights through the trees. Always just ahead. Always waiting. Then we came to a split. Two paths. No signs. The Crown Vic was gone. I was about to say we should turn around when I saw something on the ground at the fork. A license plate. Old. Rusted. From Wyoming. It was still warm to the touch. Then Eli noticed something hanging from the branch above us. A set of keys. Just dangling there. Swinging gently like someone had just let go. That's when we heard it. A car engine. Not in front of us, behind us. We turned. Headlights. Coming fast. But there was no road behind us anymore. Just trees. The lights got closer. And then they passed through us. Right through the Jeep. No noise. No heat. No impact. Just the headlights burning straight through the dash, the windshield, and then gone. We didn't talk. Didn't argue. We turned around and got out of there, took the long way around. Added 2 hours to the trip. Later, when we told Eli's cousin what happened, he went pale and said, "You saw the Black Vic?" Apparently it's a local legend. People say it appears to travelers who are lost in more ways than one. Some say if you follow it long enough, you'll never come back out. Others say it doesn't show up unless you're already marked. I don't know if that's true. But to this day, sometimes when I drive late at night, my high beams flicker for no reason. And every now and then, in my rearview mirror, I swear I see that Crown Vic. Tail lights flickering. Waiting.